So maybe I cleared that up, folks. I apologize. I got something to drink there. I usually keep a bottle of water over here, and I do apologize for that. So let's try to get started back up. But obviously, they don't care. These arrogant senators do not care one bit about correcting anything. They don't. They don't care about the disaster, the trouble that is in our intelligence agencies. They don't care. They're more interested in bringing people down. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm concerned about. I will just say that I am concerned. We'll go into that. I think everybody should be confirmed. I think they got a major problem if they don't confirm RFK Jr. What do they call them? The Maha Moms? Make America Healthy Again? The Maha Moms are at that hearing like you would not believe. So take that down, Diane, and let's yeah, I get that. I appreciate it. Rumble, the voice is okay. It's on our other program, and I've asked our technical people to work on that for us, and we are doing that. Sometimes the program that we send it out, we have to check, and I don't want to take too much time on technical on whether it's my end, Diane's end, or the actual program that sends it out. So we're working on that, and we appreciate it. We have asked you to help us in every way whatsoever. Now, the I had it here just a minute. Give me Pete Hegseth, number 15. So I started getting messages yesterday, and I thought we'd just come out of the box with this because the military mission, the training mission that was happening in D.C. With the helicopter, well, I'll let you listen. These are not new helicopter pilots. Give me Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense. Pete, number 13. Video 13. Video 3. Video 3.
And certainly the three service members, the three soldiers, a young captain, staff sergeant, and the CW2 chief warrant officer, on a routine annual retraining of night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission. The military does dangerous things. It does routine things on the regular basis.
Under investigation. I understand that.
Continuity of government mission. I have gotten more messages because the Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said continuity of government mission, training mission. So give me number, so where's that? Number 47, Diane. What is the continuity of government mission? The continuity of government mission. According to the White House website, continuity of government refers to the plan in place to keep the government up and running in case of a major catastrophe or attack on Washington, D.C. Now, I would say they run this training quite often around D.C. I would say they run it quite often. I'm not going to read a lot into this, but he did say continuity of government and the plan in place to keep the government up and running in case of a major catastrophe or attack on Washington, D.C. So my one concern is there a nuclear? My one concern is there a nuclear threat? Is there something going on we're not aware of? I'm just going to leave that out there. A lot of people, because he said that. Now, Trump, yesterday, they are losing it because Trump started talking about DEI. He started talking about DEI. Folks, the mess that Pete Buttigieg made out of the transportation department, the mess, if you go and you look at the airline near miss videos, if you go just look up how many FAA reports there are out there of near miss, planes bumping into each other right there on runway, backing into each other, whatever it may be. Now, what Donald J. Trump did, some dumbass reporter said, "Are you going to visit the crash site?" And Trump looked and said, "I'm not gonna go into the water. And what's wrong with you? I'm going to meet with the families." Lincoln Riley's parents, they just attended a signing that Lincoln Riley, for her namesake, the Lincoln Riley Act. And Lincoln Riley's mom said Trump said he would not forget about our daughter. He would make something happen. He would deport these criminals, and he's a man of his word. Let me tell you something. They may hate him, and they do. Because I said this morning when I opened up, Democrats are coming after him. He didn't get 100 days. He got 3 or 4 days. They are coming after him as hard as they can. But now is when they're working to turn Republicans against Trump. Now, that being said, just listen to how bad they hate Trump, and then we'll get into some of the things Trump said yesterday. Video 5.
Meanwhile, President Trump seemed to have little interest in the role of consoler-in-chief yesterday, shifting quickly instead to partisan and political attacks during his press conference. The question is, was yesterday a preview of what we can expect once again for the next 4 years?
Do you remember when Pete Buttigieg, well, first of all, let's get Pete Buttigieg here. Where's he at? I had to hear just a minute. Yeah. Here's video 2. Give me video 2.
FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg. A real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run the Department of Transportation? He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit. The Department of Transportation, his government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity. So I had to say that...
So remember the Infrastructure Act, where they stole money, the $1 trillion Infrastructure Act. Remember they were going to upgrade airports, bridges. The list goes on, right? The list goes on what they were going to do with the money. But Pete Buttigieg, he took the time to put people in place to study. Remember Reconnect America? He put all this time into reconnecting America. Where do I have it here? I have it here, just a minute. Reconnect America. Where is? Yeah, give me video 7, Diane.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or that would have been in New York, was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality, and I think we have everything to gain by acknowledging it and then dealing with it, which is why the Reconnecting Communities, that $1 billion, is something we want to get to work right away putting to work.
But that's such a heavy lift. I mean, you have to reconstruct communities that this happened to. As you said, some of these beltways and interstates and roadways were built before the Civil Rights Act, before the Voting Rights Act, and were meant to be racist. But how do you go about redefining and replanning these roadways and communities that are already settled in? Since then.
So what's interesting is it's going to vary by community, and we have to listen to the community. Sometimes it really is the case that an overpass went in a certain way that is so harmful that it's got to come down or maybe be put underground. Other times, maybe it's not that way. Maybe the really important thing is to connect across it, to add rather than subtract. And that's where we don't want to impose a one-size-fits-all answer from here. But when we were out in Syracuse, for example, looking at I-81, we saw the local vision for how they want to get past those divisions. And those local ideas are going to be taken very seriously as we try to meet the spirit of this law.
$1 billion. This guy took $1 billion to study racist highways. He's full of bullshit. Trump is right. Trump is 100% right. Trump said yesterday, if you watch the entire press briefing, now, they are going nuts. They are going absolute nuts. Oh my God, how incompassionate. Oh my God. I mean, talking about it right now. They don't have, let's see, what did CNN here have up here? Give me number 21, Diane. Trump baselessly links diversity initiatives to collision. Number 21. Let me tell you something, whether first of all, discard all their garbage. And they will chase down these Republicans down the hall. Millions of people are getting on airlines today, getting on the planes right now, that would like to know that in the tower is qualified people, qualified to handle the traffic. And millions of people are getting on those planes and wanting to know that the landing, they're cleared to land, that the pilots are qualified. Millions. Trump come out yesterday. Now, what they wanted was Biden to shuffle out or release a statement from the White House. If Biden wasn't available because of his dementia, we would have received a statement from the White House. And then the Biden would have come out, no questions, no media whatsoever, and made a statement of compassion for the families, and say everything's under investigation and shuffle back off. Let me tell you something, the American people, we have a president. We have a president. He is already handling it. He went straight to the press room. He took the Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy with him. He took Pete Buttigieg, Department of Defense, Secretary of Defense. He took him in the room. We even, Kamala Harris would be drunk somewhere, and she didn't want to be seen next to Joe mumbling and stumbling. Yesterday, in the press room, your president came out, your vice president came out, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, was there, and Secretary of Transportation. And Sean Duffy was not talking about reconnecting $1 billion of roads and studying what road in America is racist. That's just the reason that's just the tip of how bad things are that they walked into, how bad the situation is that they walked into. I mean, it's a disaster. It's quite the disaster where people are getting killed. It's dangerous. Now, Trump does not put any fear in the American people to fly. The reason he went in there with the DEI, he wants you to have confidence he's going to fix it. Now, they put this guy up, this guy right here. Now, I'm trying to do the research. I think I have the right person when I say it this way. I was trying to do the research here. Give me number 80. No, 60. I'm sorry, Diane. Oh, my gosh. I tell you, I can't believe I'll tell you later what has happened here that's caused me not to be able to. So, this is Keith Washington. Chief of Staff, he was the acting Chief of Staff. Keith Washington was appointed acting FAA Chief of Staff in June 2023. Previously, he served as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Administration at the U.S. Department of Transportation. In this role, he provided leadership in areas of human resources, DEI, human resources, security, acquisitions, grants, transportation, and facility. I will guarantee you, if you looked at this guy's background, he spent more time in his position making sure that you met all the DEI standards to get a grant. All right? He was the director of the Departmental Office of Human Resource Management. He was responsible for leading and evaluating departmental human resources management policies for the large cabinet level agencies. All right. He held other key positions in the U.S. Department of Transportation, including the acting Assistant Secretary of the Administration, the interim Associate Administrator in the Administration. Let's see what else. Director of Development Resources. I had something else I wanted to show you there. He was the recipient. Okay, now I just want to show you something else. Give me this right here. This is an FAA DEI hiring video 12.
So, Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS-B transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
That's okay. We'll just keep going. So that's a pretty important part. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay. So what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so...
But obviously you'd oversee the Federal Aviation Administration. So any idea what those restrictions are under basic med, quickly?
Well, some of the restrictions I think would be high blood pressure. Some of them would be.
It's more like how many passengers per airplane, how many pounds in different categories, and what altitude you can fly under. So, and then amount of knots. It's under 250 knots. So, it's not having anything to do with blood pressure. So, can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
Okay, let's keep going. What are the 3 aircraft certifications the FAA requires as part of the manufacturing process? Quickly, please. 3 aircraft certifications.
Again, what I would say to that is that one of my first priorities would be to fully implement that Certification Act and report.
You know
back
the 3
to this
types,
committee.
Mr. Washington? The 3
No.
types? Okay. Yeah, that's type certificate, production certificate, and airworthiness certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's just keep going, see if we can get lucky here. So can you tell me what the minimum separation distance is for landing and departing airliners during the daytime, Mr. Washington?
I don't want to guess on that, Senator.
Are you familiar with the difference between Part 107 and Part 44809 when it comes to unmanned aerial standards? Unmanned like drones? Are you familiar with the difference?
Yes.
Okay. You know the difference between those 2, Part 44809 and Part 107? Do you know the difference there?
No, I cannot.
That's okay.
Spell out.
This is an example of what they would put forward at any time in any cabinet level position, any assistant cabinet level position, any position in the Biden administration. This is what they would put forward for confirmation for FAA. The vetting before this man ever got to this point. But you know what? I bet he met the DEI. This is a DEI hire. So take that down. Right there. Take that down, Diane. Now, so they're upset with Trump because Trump wants you to be safe. All right. He wants you to be safe. Let's see. Where is, I had Trump here. Give me video. Give me video 19. Trump went immediately in the Oval Office and sent this memorandum out immediately. Give me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Second, for your signature, we have a presidential memorandum titled Immediate Assessment of Aviation Safety. In light of the damage done to aviation safety by the Biden administration's DEI and woke policies, what this presidential memorandum orders is for your Secretary of Transportation and FAA administrator, in this case acting FAA administrator, to basically ensure that we are actively undoing all of that damage, that we are assessing how much damage was done, and that we're ensuring that people hired within the FAA, in keeping with your memorandum of January 21st, are only the most outstanding, capable people for the jobs that they're being hired into.
In other words, competence.
Yes, sir. Elevating competence over everything else instead of the DEI policies that were pursued by the Biden administration.
I think everyone understands that. And Obama.
Yes.
Both of them. Okay, but Biden much worse. Not even a contest. What they've done is just crazy in so many other ways. Okay?
Mr. President, to be clear, are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We want the most competent people, especially in those positions. And, you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
There can be no chances. There can be no risk. Now, again, the only thing he said, are you saying it could have? It may have. When we get done, it may have. But I'm going to do everything I can. I cannot bring back the 67 lives. All right. Now, the press conference before it started yesterday, Trump had a moment of silence. These pieces of garbage, okay? They hate this country. They absolutely do. They hate us. He comes out yesterday, first of all, stands up before them, takes the questions. He even told Caitlin Collins, Caitlin Collins, 41, Diane. He even looked at Caitlin Collins at CNN and he said, that wasn't a very smart question. And I'm kind of shocked coming from you. I mean, they're in there and they're already asking the dumb questions. That wasn't a very smart question. So take that down. It could have, number 44. Air traffic controller left work early on night of DC plane crash. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Are you good with that? Sure. Can you handle the helicopters and the planes? Sure. Now, it's not against FAA rules, I understand, but as this is going on, the investigation, somebody went home early. Now, Trump immediately goes in and he addresses this. No more. I can't bring the 67 people back, but this disaster has to stop now. So give me video 1. This is from the press conference. They're not going to play this stuff. Give me video 1.
The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. That's my president. I don't think so. They could be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. Period. Okay. Number 4, Trump, I have common sense. Video.
Under investigation. I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that the systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have. But they didn't build the systems properly. They spent a lot of money renovating a system, spending much more money than they would have spent if they bought a new system for air traffic controllers, meaning the computerized systems. There are certain companies that do a very good job. They didn't use those companies. They used companies that should not have been doing it. No, I think.
Now, first of all, this guy is from New York City. I don't know if you have ever traveled to New York City, okay? The small planes and the number of helicopters. If you go to New York City this morning, the number of choppers in the air is amazing. I used to go into the city, and as I'm going for the Holland Tunnel, Lincoln Tunnel, or across the GW Bridge, I would look into the city and you just think to yourself, How over the Hudson? How do they control that? It's like a swarm of bees. They're moving everywhere. And this guy right here, I get so tired of these smug, arrogant people that should go to Gitmo. I get so tired of them. This guy right here, he has had an airplane. He has had helicopters. He understands aviation. Maybe he's not an expert in aviation, but he understands it, especially where he's from, New York. And Pete Buttigieg, I showed you, it was time to, it was time to spend $1 billion to research racist roads in America. They're freaking out at him. What if Pete Buttigieg was there? Would someone stand up and say, Mr. Secretary, do you think in the last year, if you took the time that you spent and the $1 billion figuring out what bypass, what underpass, what cloverleaf constituted a racist road in your Connect Communities plan and put that towards the FAA, this would not have happened today? No, they would have never asked that question. It's like he said, common sense. Now, look, you can get, I don't mean you, because I don't think you will, but they can get mad out there all they want. They can get angry all they want, period. Okay? Bottom line. Now, bottom line, they can get angry all they want, period. But Donald Trump doesn't play around. 67 people are dead. He does not want to see this happen again. You just got the transportation secretary approved. They're dragging their feet on purpose. All right, moving right along. I don't know what Trump is going. I don't know what this video. Give me video 6. All right.
You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it. But we'll restore faith in American air travel. I'll have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program.
Folks, you see, now we're talking about nominees right now. Kash Patel. The American people don't trust. They don't trust anything. They basically don't trust anything. The trust for the FBI is at the lowest level. The trust of what the NSA, what we get out of our intelligence agencies, we don't trust that. We don't trust what we get out of HHS. We don't trust the FAA. We don't trust transportation. America's all-time trust level is the lowest, I think, in this country's history of every single agency out there. But you see, I showed you an example of who they would put forward. You see, right there, you watched it, who they would put forward. And then you see the transportation secretary, he's mad. Pete Buttigieg has responded. But it's like Trump said, he's a disaster. Trump's not going to let this happen again. And he has to correct it. Let me see if I have anything else on this. Because he has common sense. Because he has common sense. So I will say this. For all of you out there that are doing your own investigation, I understand. So I want to be clear. Give me number 2, CNN. Trump's comments on a disaster. To be clear, are you saying race and gender played a role in a tragedy? No, incompetent people that are put in positions they should not be in plays the role in the tragedy, and you hiring them because an agency has too many white people, that's ignorant and dangerous, and people die. To be clear, are you saying race and gender played? No, race and gender did not play a role. The man I just put up there before that could not answer one question concerning aviation, not one. And then we got to the point, well, I think the blood pressure. No, that's not even what we're talking about. If that man would have answered every question, that black man would have answered every single question correctly, I would have said, wow, get that guy on the job this afternoon. Get him on the job. So race, okay, and gender do not play the role in the tragedy. Incompetent people in positions is what played the role in the tragedy, no matter who they are and what their race and gender. Okay, give me number 3. I've never went to the cockpit and said, "Are you gay?" I never have. I've never looked at the pilot as I'm walking in for a flight. Are you gay? Are you black? How tall are you? Now, can you fly the damn plane? Welcome aboard Flight So-and-so. You'll be happy to know we have a gay pilot this afternoon. No, I won't be happy to know. Here's what I'll be happy to know. Can he fly the damn plane? Welcome to Flight So-and-so. You'll be happy to know our DEI program is working and our co-pilot is a dwarf. No, I don't care. He can't see out the windshield, damn it. I don't want to go up and see my pilot in a booster seat. That's true. I didn't make that up. Dwarfism is in the government list of things in their hiring. I didn't make that up. You'll be happy to know a dwarf is flying today. He can't see out the windshield, but we do meet and check off, and he's sitting right next to an Asian. No! I want to know, can he fly the damn plane? Enough of that already, right? Look it up. Laugh at me if you want. Number 3, searching for answers. Let's see what else I have here. Number 5, Trump's disaster playbook. Blame Democrats and politicize the tragedy. That's not what happened. It's not what happened. Number 6, Trump sparks outcry with implication that DEI policies are at fault in D.C. midair. He sparks outcry. The only outcry, let me tell you, the only outcry was the American people in November saying, please stop the madness. Number 7, AADP. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. I can't fly a plane. I said AA. Oh, I did say PD, or did I say DP? How did I say that? FAA employees, and that's where I struggle from time to time. I'm not asking to fly the plane. I'm a little dyslexic. FAA employees with disabilities did not cause last night's tragic plane crash. The investigation into the crash is still ongoing. It is extremely inappropriate for the president to use this tragedy to push anti-diversity hiring agenda. Doing so makes all Americans less safe. Look, I'm not going to go there. The NAACP, we were actually waiting for the NAACP. Now we know. Number 8, the NAACP statement on Trump's DEI comments. The president has made his decision to put politics over people abundantly clear as he uses the highest office in the land to sow hatred rooted in falsehoods instead of providing us with the leadership we need and deserve. So let me just say this, because, I'm thinking I shouldn't say this. And what does that mean? If I start thinking you shouldn't say this. So I have a gay friend. I know, don't lose it. My gay friend is a doctor. And this doctor is winning major awards based on the care and ability that this doctor has. And I would go to this doctor next week. And when I walk in, I don't want anybody to say, "You'll be happy to know your physician today is gay." All right? I'll be happy to know my physician has won all these awards. I have to get off this subject. But Trump, let's end this by saying this. Give me let's go to a couple more. I just want to show you number 9. I got to get out. I'm an hour into the show and I don't feel like I've accomplished anything yet. So number 9, MSNBC, Trump suggests DEI programs to blame for collision. Number 10, air traffic control staffing allowed but not ideal under safety standards. Somebody went home early, okay? The microwave's broke, and I can't microwave my soup. I'm going home. Is this a preview? Number 12, is this a preview for the next 4 years? Here is Donald Trump not just coming out and saying our thoughts, our prayers are with the families of this tragedy in America, and together we will rebuild, and together we will care for one another, and together we will cry, and we will do everything together. Trump said, okay, enough of that. I got to get my ass over here and make sure it doesn't happen again because I got 300 million Americans that need to be safe. I can't bring the 67 back. Sorry to put it that way. Number 13, President Trump signs new executive order in the Oval Office. Now, what they don't tell you is on the other side of that desk, there's 50 cameras pointed at him and reporters. He did another press conference. Yesterday, he was sober. This guy was, no, that would be Pete Buttigieg. No, that would be this guy, 14. Kamala Harris would have gotten up there, give us a word salad. But our Vice President, J.D. Vance, right there at the podium. Number 15, Donald Trump said, get up there right now. Pete Buttigieg, and he's sober 2 days in a row.
Hegseth.
He's going to get a, what, Diane, did I hear you?
Hegseth. Pete Hegseth. Buttigieg.
Did I say that? Are you sure, Diane?
You've said it twice. I had to correct you. That's Pete Hegseth.
Diane, are you sure you're not just trying to get me all worked up?
I got the tape.
Never know. Oh, God, I hate when she says that. I hate when she says she has the tape. So, Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Pete Hegseth. All right. No, the big thing is, Diane, he's sober 3 days in a row. Can you beat that? Can't beat that. So he's there. And then number 16, Sean Duffy, our new transportation secretary, and he was not talking about reconnecting America. Number 18, the blame game. CNN, the blame game. All right, we're going to take a break. Oh, by the way, number 19, several FBI leaders told to retire, resign, or be fired. Yes, be fired. Get out. Leaders, not the field office FBI agents. We'll talk about that in a minute. Get out. And yes, and February 6th, a national holiday. Can I say it? Should I say it? February 6th will always be known as Shit Can a Federal Employee Day. Take a break.